Welcome back, Loyalty Loopers. Last week we talked about the power of curiosity to inspire you to act, and we even discussed how and why clickbait works. This week, I'm gonna show you how one brand has leveraged the power of curiosity to increase engagement with their content. It's not just a theory, it's a psychological phenomenon based on science, and it's the exact same curiosity factor that's enabled one brand to capture their audience's attention for a full 8 minutes. I'll show you the simple experiment that researchers conducted to prove the power of curiosity, and I'll break down the unbelievably boring advertisement that delivered massive success. What we uncover will shock you, literally. All of that and more on today's Loyalty Loop. Okay, here's the deal. I have 10 pens here, and these 10 pens hold the secret to success for an Ikea ad I just recently encountered. Now, if you're anything like me, we know how powerful clickbait headlines are. We know that the article on the other side of that click isn't going to measure up to our expectations, but we click it anyway. Why? Well, these pens hold the answer. You see, a couple of researchers had a very similar question in mind when they decided to run an experiment. Participants were invited into a room with a table, and on that table were 10 pens. Now here's where it gets fun. These weren't ordinary pens. In fact, they were those novelty pens that will shock you when you click them. You see, what researchers wanted to know was if curiosity was so powerful it could inspire you to take action even when the outcome would make you unhappy or uncomfortable. And so they ran the little experiment twice. One group walked in to find 5 pens with green labels and 5 pens with red labels. They were told that the 5 pens with green labels would not shock them. They didn't have any batteries, but the 5 pens with red labels would most certainly deliver a shock. Basically, there was no mystery here. Green pens, no shock. Red pens, shock. The second group came in to find all 10 pens labeled with a yellow sticker, and they were told that any of these pens might shock them. Some had batteries and some did not, but there was no way to tell the difference. The yellow pens were a mystery. By the way, they were all told that they could click the pens while they waited for the real study to start. But first, let me tell you about Ikea's 8-minute advertisement. 8 minutes. We all know how YouTube pre-roll ads work, right? You have to watch the first 5 seconds of the advertisement, but then they show you the skip this ad button, and you can click it and move on to the stuff you actually came to watch. Well, check out this ad.
Ni kan hoppa över den här annonsen nu.
Let's stop right there. They just told me I could skip this ad right now. That is just like telling me you can click these pens if you want. And that happens in the first 5 seconds. What happens next?
Spring divulges the true character of the mountains. Stripped of its white.
Now we're 15 seconds in and nothing has happened. About 35 seconds in, she reminds us that we can skip this ad and even tells us it's kind of boring. And what happens over the next 7.5 minutes? Absolutely nothing. Literally nothing. So do people watch this ad? Well, the pens hold the answer. Now here's what our experimenters found. Even though they knew the pens could shock them, the participants presented with the uncertain outcome, the yellow pens, clicked 5 times as many pens. 5 times. That's right. Which is 5 times the potential shocks. You see, curiosity is such a powerful, overwhelming force that it overrides our logical reasoning. You know you might get shocked, but you just have to know. And psychologists have a name for this. They call this our need for closure. And it's an overwhelmingly powerful force. And that need for closure can help us understand what happened in these Ikea ads. You see, the average view time for a YouTube pre-roll ad is about 20 seconds, I'm told. So what's the average viewing time for the Ikea kissing ad? Want to take a guess? 45 seconds? 50 seconds? Now let's get smart about this. If we use the baseline from our pen study, we could assume that they watched about 5 times as much of the video. That would be about 100 seconds or 1 minute and 40 or something like that. And if we guess that, We'd be wrong. The average video viewer of that Ikea ad watched the video for 3 minutes. And here's what's even more amazing. 39% of their viewers watched the entire 8 minutes. That's right. They watched the entire ad. You see, that's the power of curiosity. Curiosity is more powerful than logic. So how can the average marketer embrace the power of curiosity? Look, curiosity is multifaceted, but understanding what your audience is thinking while they consume your content can help you create content that engages them for much longer. Think about it this way. Why were people clicking 5 times as many pens? What exactly could they be curious about? Well, some might want to know if they can predict which pens might shock them. Some might have wanted to know what the shock actually felt like. Yeah. And others just might simply want to know which ones shock and which ones don't. Next time you create a piece of content, ask yourself what the audience is asking as they consume your content. Keep them curious. Now, don't leave before you like and subscribe. You're gonna not wanna miss next week's video because we're gonna be in Portugal and we're going on a real treasure hunt. I'll see you next week in my loyalty loop.